Hey, and welcome to the next step in planning your video. In this video, we're going to talk about a really fun part of making a video, which is the storyboards. And the storyboards are basically like a visual preview of how each scene is going to look like, how you want it to look like, pretty much, because you're planning it and then you have to execute on what you sketched. It's basically bringing your words to life, and it's really fun. And what I recommend you do is you use the storyboard template that I'm gonna provide you with. But pretty much it all looks like this, and I suggest you do them by hand, like with a pen or something like that, or pencil, whatever. In our case, because I can't film that, I'm just gonna use like a free, like a whiteboard software online. But basically all storyboard templates look like this. There are going to be a couple of rectangles that represent each scene in the video. Okay, it's a bit hard to do with a mouse, but you know, should be good enough to understand what I'm doing. Yeah, so basically those are going to be scene number 1, scene number 2, scene number 3, and so on. So what you want to do is you want to take the script and break it down into parts or sentences or however you want to split it, and you're gonna draw or sketch something of how you want that part to look for that particular part of the sentence. So say for example the first sentence is, I don't know, like a really bad example is hey, this is Bob and Bob has this problem, which is pretty much how a lot of you know, bad explainer videos start like. So you're gonna start with Bob here on the right, and I don't know, like a question mark on the left, like, did you hear about Bob's problem? Or kind of like suggesting that, hey, are you like Bob? Are you in the same situation? Do you have the same problem? And then the next part is say for example, I don't know, the voiceover talks about 3 different specific pain points, and the way you want to represent that is with some icons, for example, like he loses time doing that, I don't know, his transactions are not safe, blah, 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 and one more, I don't know. So you're going to have 3 icons, and underneath each one, you're going to have like a small bit of text, like a headline, and yeah. So the next part in the voiceover would be, say for example, just to simplify things, let's say the voiceover says, but what if there was a magic solution to your problem? So for this one, say you're just a bit lazy, or maybe the text is not, you can't find any good ideas to represent it visually. And for example, for what if there was a solution to your problem, I mean, I get it. It's perfectly fine. You can use text. I use text all the time for parts that are hard to show visually otherwise, in a different way, I mean. So you can use text. That's fine as well. And I don't know, the next scene, let's say, would be scene number 4. Oh, that's that's very ugly. So say for example in this scene we just say, oh hey, introducing the magic solution in the name of your company, and you're just gonna show the logo with maybe like a slogan on the bottom or the URL of your company and stuff like that. And then of course you just keep going with the same thing forever until you finish the video. And yeah, apart from the voiceover text here on the bottom, you're gonna have something called notes, which is completely optional. It's up to you if you want to write something. Depends how detailed you want to plan. But maybe, say for example, you want to say that you want to make it clear that the character is a woman. So you're just gonna write a woman instead of a man. And maybe you want to say that it slides in from the right, and then the question mark slides in from the left, and whatever goes through your mind. It's up to you how detailed or you know, how broad you want to go. Depends on how you work. It's different from person to person. One really important thing is to consider is that maybe if you look at it the next day or after a couple of days, you're going to realize, hey, maybe I don't like slide number 5, so I'm just going to delete it and, do it again. Or say you don't like slide number 2, for example, which is already here in the middle. And you're going to have to recreate slide number 2 then on the bottom where you have an empty slide or screen or scene or whatever. And it's just going to get a bit messy. So that's fine. It's part of the process. And what you want to do once you have a final one, you can, copy it on a new storyboard template just to have a look and see if it actually flows really well, if it makes sense visually, and if it sends across the message that you want to send. And this depends on the situation, but for example, if you have a final storyboard and a voiceover, it's a really good idea to play back the voiceover while you're checking the scenes in the storyboard to see if it flows well, if it feels right, basically. Yeah, so that's about it. This is how you do storyboards. It's a very important process when you make any sort of video, to be honest. This is the exact same process that even Hollywood directors use to make films, commercial, or any sort of video. It's super, super important because you plan in advance what you want to do. And then when it comes to production, it's just a matter of executing. Of course, you have to keep in mind how you want to produce the video. If it's like a live action video that you shoot with a camera, if it's an animation or whatever, if it's a screen capture. So you have to keep in mind what sort of capabilities you have, because you might not be able to use some of the graphics, or you might not find some of the graphics or stock animation or GIF files or whatever for that particular scene. But that's not so important. What's important is to plan exactly how you want it to look and then do your best to find solutions to make it look that way. And then if you can't find that, you can make a compromise. That's totally fine. And again, I really have to insist, you need to do this step. Don't skip it. I'll be honest with you, when I started making videos, I always skipped this step. I didn't even think it was important, to be honest. And it's really bad because you just start with an empty screen and a voiceover and you look at it and you try to fill it up on the way. And it's not always going to be so good. It's basically like when you try to write like a novel and you have no outline, no ideas, no chapters, no characters, no plot line, no nothing. You just start with an empty page and, you expect a masterpiece to just flow out of your mind, which will never happen. Or, I don't know, it could happen for some like super magic writers or whatever. But yeah. Anyway, it's really important. Do it. Don't skip it. When I started adding storyboards to my videos, they literally became, 10 times better. So it's super important. You do storyboards. And it's super easy. It's creative. It's fun. And that's about it. I'll see you in the next video.